my life. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and today is WAAAY Out Wednesdays. And this is a series that I'm doing every Wednesday where I'm going to tackle some sort of metaphysical concept or belief, whether you believe that it's real or you've experienced it or not. We're going to tackle it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to learn a little bit, perhaps, right? So today we're going to be talking about telepathy. Telepathy, the activity of speaking without speaking. So using your mind to communicate without actually saying anything. Now, if you've been married for 30 plus years, this is a real thing in your life. You know what's going to happen before it happens and what they're going to say. Maybe you finish each other's sentences, those kinds of things. Well, of course, that can come with familiarity, right? Where you've been trained because you've lived with this person for so many years, you know what they're going to do before sometimes they know themselves. However, there is really a thing called telepathy. And honestly, it's used in most every other type of energy or entity that exists, except for us here on Earth. And maybe there's a planet here or there that's similar to ours, but the vast majority of quote unquote intelligent life uses telepathy. And I'm going to tell you that we do too. Humans use telepathy all the time. It's so much like how many of us have psychic abilities, but we don't know we're using them. We simply don't realize that's what we've been relying on our whole lives. So let me give you some ideas about how telepathy may be showing up in your life, or perhaps how you've used it, or someone has used it with you or on you to communicate to you. Okay. So first of all, we need to talk about senders and receivers. Some people are just more naturally senders of information. Other people are more naturally receivers of information. Now, we can start off with empaths, because empaths are receivers, right? What do? We are the bloodhounds of energy. We're always sniffing the air, the energetic air, to see what is happening. What is that weird feeling I'm feeling? Is that for me? Is that something that's not mine that I need to push away? Why does this room feel so funky? Why does that building creep me out so much? Why does that guy creep me out so much, right? Why does that woman give me the heebie-jeebies? That's your empath abilities making themselves known. You're born an empath. What that means is basically you were born a radio tower, an energetic bloodhound. You go around sensing energy. You know energy. It's something that you were born doing. It's your birthright. You don't know anything different, to be honest with you. People that are not empathic don't do that. They don't have this ability. As a matter of fact, I had an interesting lesson once. I knew that there was an energy in my house, and I also knew that I had an older couple staying in my house in my downstairs guest bedroom. And I thought, that's weird. Something's in the house. Now, it woke me up, and I thought, I'm going to have to go check and see what's going on. Now, did I get up out of my bed? No, I simply sent my consciousness, my intention, remote viewed, astral traveled, whatever you want to call it. I basically sent my little empathic feelers down to that room where I saw them, or I saw an energetic image of them laying in their bed, perfectly fine. Nothing is bothering them, except for I noticed something interesting. It was quite shocking. Turns out they had little shells on their body. Little kind of almost semi-translucent or semi-opaque shells, thin little shells. I didn't have a shell. I wasn't born with a shell. So I started looking around and noticed that some people have shells, some people don't have shells. In my opinion, people that are not empaths, they have little shells that protect them from this constant barrage of energy that is just normal. It's normal to feel wind when you're outside. It's normal to feel heat. It's normal to feel whatever the weather is. It's the same with energy. It's normal that we feel the energy, except for that some of us have these shells and they're just not nearly, and I mean nearly, affected by the energy as we are. So that's something for you to know. This energy just comes right on in to your energy. There's nothing to stop it. So when that happens, I really want you to say, is this mine? Does it belong to me? No. Is it my family's? No. Does it belong to my pets? No. Does it belong to my house or my apartment? No. It's not yours. Push it away. Say a prayer for it. Say a prayer for whoever is experiencing this energy, but it's not your energy. So you don't have to be at the mercy of whatever the energy is that day or that moment. But back to my telepathy. So if you're an empath, you're a receiver. The same way that you received that energy, you receive thoughts, you receive energy in the form of someone's pain, struggles, joy, the brightness of them or the dimness of them. These are all things that on occasion as an empath, you've been able to discern or you felt. That is telepathy in a sense. In this sense, it's clairsentience because it's energy. Where it becomes telepathy is when you get the thought, when you get the actual communication message. Now, how could that show up in your life? Well, the most obvious way that I can explain it to you is when you work in an office or you work in a setting where there's other people that work with you and you have a particular person that maybe you're friends with or you work closely with. And how many times do you show up wearing the exact same color? Blouse, dress, tie, shirt, because this doesn't have to be women. It can be men as well. Now, you didn't just pick up their energy because their energy didn't say, I'm going to wear blue today. But their brain did. Their brain said, oh, I'm going to wear blue today. And at the same time, your brain said, oh, I'm going to wear blue today. And then you get to the office and everybody makes fun of you, don't they? Isn't it what they say? Oh, I didn't get the memo. Ha, ha, ha. But this is a real thing. This is a real thing. Telepathy just happened. Now, in some situations, one of those people will be a sender and the other person will be a receiver. So we also attract opposites, do we not? Aren't some of your friends loud and outgoing and you're a little bit more reserved and quiet? Or perhaps you're loud and outgoing and your friends are quiet? That's a sender-receiver match made in heaven right there. Because senders are people that know what they want. They have no problem saying, I want this. I need this. I'm going to get this. I wonder what it would be like to have this. Their energy is not small. It may not, I'm not saying these people are egotistic. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that they're not shy. They're not reserved. They're not quiet. Maybe you think of them as normal. Maybe you think that they're just normal people, but they're certainly not shy and they're not quiet and they're not that reserved. They're funny. They have opinions or they're serious and they have opinions. Those are senders. Okay. So when you have a relationship, and this could be your partnership, your marriage, whatever, it could be a child that you have, it could be a sibling, a boss, a coworker, it could be anything. When you have a relationship where you have those opposites attract, and one of you is a little bit more outspoken and one of you is a little bit more quiet and reserved, I promise you that the quiet and reserved person of that dynamic duo, whether again it's a work duo or a romantic duo or a child parent duo, the more reserved one is going to always know what the one that speaks their mind wants. Now you might say, well, of course, because they're speaking their mind, telling me what they want. That's how I know. Not really. If you're in a relationship like that, pay attention. Pay attention and stop yourself before you do something that they would like you to do, but didn't ask you to do. If you always know what they want and you're fulfilling their order before they even ask for it, just stop doing that and see what happens. They're going to ask if you're sick. They're going to ask if you're okay. Are you okay? What's wrong? Nothing. Well, are you sure? Yeah, I'm fine. Well, you're acting weird. No, I'm not. They just figured out that all of a sudden you were not reading their mind. You weren't giving them or doing for them the things that they need done without asking about it. This is a really big deal. This is a real deal. And it's not a bad thing at all. This is not a bad thing at all. If you're happy in the role of being a receiver and they're happy in the role of being a sender, then it's all good, right? I would just say that receivers or empaths, generally speaking, need to work on boundaries because we don't know what those are. We don't have boundaries with the energy. The energy just shows up and all of a sudden we feel terrible. We feel like we have a sense of impending doom. Oh, I don't know. I'm so tired today. It must be that it's cloudy, or it must be this, or it must be that. It's frankly the energy. And that's why you need to ask, do I have a reason to feel tired? Not really. Then let me check the energy. Is this energy mine? Not really. Bye-bye. Right? Senders don't experience this. They're not affected by external energy the way receivers are. Okay. Now, something else about receivers and senders that I think you really need to know. Senders are great at manifesting. Senders manifest what they want because they're senders. They know what they want. They have clarity. They don't have this problem of boundaries of this. Is this what I want, or is this what they want, or should I do this, or would this be bad for this person? They don't do any of that. They're like, yeah, I want that. I'll take that, please. They go to the restaurant. They know what they want. There's no indecision. They know exactly what they want. They know how they want it. They tell the person, the waiter, the waitress, they tell them exactly what they want. When you tell the universe exactly what you want in no uncertain terms, and you have a confidence about you that typically speaking, when you tell people what you want, you get it. Again, this is not about ego. It is not about ego. It's about confidence. Senders are manifestors because they're sending out to the universe what they want. Their grocery list, their universal shopping list, they're sending it out. And they tend to not worry about where is it. I prayed for it. I did a manifestation. I put it on my vision board. Where is it? Where is it? It's never going to come. It's never going to come. You don't hear those type of people really worry. Now, they may be cynical. They may instead say, yeah, that didn't work. That was a failure. They may say something like that. What is that doing? Pronouncing. They're proclaiming their opinion. They're not over here wishy-washy saying, gosh, I don't know why that didn't work. I wish that had worked. I don't think that's ever going to work for me. They were like, Yeah, that was a load of crap. That didn't work. And then they go on, right? So we can learn a lot from each other in the sense that senders could learn a little bit from receivers, because really takes two to tango in this world, doesn't it? So if you're a little bit more sensitive to what receivers are giving you, you're going to be a lot more grateful for what they're giving you. And if you're grateful to a receiver, your life is going to be paved in gold, because a receiver loves nothing more than to receive the energy and then to do their part, to fix it, to make it better, to help. They're receivers because they're focused on the external. So if you're a sender, you're focused on the internal. What do I want? What do I need? Again, it's not about ego, folks. That is not about ego at all. It's very simply taking care of your own needs. Actually, a very adult thing to do. So senders can learn how to be more grateful and live in gratitude from receivers, and receivers can learn from senders how to manifest, how to state to the world, this is what I want. I'm ready for this. This is already in my awareness. I'm already experiencing this. Thank you. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, take a page from a sender and say, well, that was a load of crap. Didn't work. I'm going to go on to the next thing, right? It's just a completely different energy. Now, let me give you another example. Let's say that you are at your place of work, whatever that is. And let's say oftentimes empaths and receivers are very private. We really don't go out, tell everybody in the office what we're doing, right? We really don't. We may have one good friend that we share with, but we're pretty private people. So we kind of keep it to ourselves. Now, let's just say that you, in your private life with your spouse, your partner, you decide you're going to build a pool. And this is the biggest thing you've ever thought about doing. You're going to put a swimming pool in the backyard. You're getting the loan. You're getting the contractor. You're finding a contractor. In all actuality, you think about it all the time. And when you go home, you're talking to your spouse and you're interviewing contractors. And when you're at lunch at work, you're on your phone looking at pools, and it's basically permeating your energy. It's in your energy. Now, even though you're a receiver, it's in your energy. And let's just say, whereas a sender would be telling everybody, I'm putting a pool in. I'm looking at this person, I'm looking at that person, and I'm thinking about doing this, and my spouse wants that, but I don't. Big difference, right? So here you are, you're a receiver, and you're thinking about this pool, and you're concentrating on it. Your energy is sort of like here around you. So it's coming out of you, but it's pretty close to you, right? Very different from a sender. And then you go to work. 3 weeks later, you've not mentioned your idea of putting the pool in to anyone. It's your personal, private thing that you're doing. You just go to work, you do your business, you come home, you're kind and nice to everybody, but you don't really have any close friends there. But 3 weeks later, that person that sits next to you tells you that they just decided last night to put in a pool. And, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails, doesn't it? When somebody's doing your project. It's like when you're going to do a kitchen and then somebody else does a kitchen and you're like, why are they doing a kitchen? I'm doing a kitchen. It's the same thing with the pool. This person was able to receive your energy. She received your thoughts because you were so happy and so high vibrational about the idea of a pool, and you were thinking about it all the time, that this coworker read your thoughts because it was wrapped up in yummy high vibration, got the idea, and decided to do it as well. So you will see this at work. Not only do people wear the same colors as you, and it doesn't have to be the opposite that picks up on that energy. Another receiver can pick up on your energy because receivers are fantastic at picking up on energy. And you're happy about the pool and you're giddy and you're looking at your little phone at work. And that receiver in your office picked up your deliciously happy vibration about the pool and thought, we should do a pool. This happens more than you think. I bet you some of you in the comments can give us lots of examples of where you started a project and either a relative or a coworker, a friend, a neighbor that you never mentioned a word about this project to started the exact same project. It kind of is creepy, right? You kind of start thinking, are they watching me? Did I say this to somebody? You know, it makes you really think, like, did I say something and I don't remember? Because you can't figure out how they know. And this could be anything. You could be in college and thinking, okay, I'm going to declare this major. It's not at all what I thought I was going to do, but this is what I'm going to do. And somebody that sits 2 seats over from you mentions casually that they're going to declare the same major. And you're thinking, this is bizarre. This is not impossible. This is a very, sort of weird little major that nobody does. How could that person do it? Telepathy. Telepathy. So if you're an empath, I want you to consider, well, first of all, if you're at work and you don't want other people to know your business and you're an empath, then you need to kind of be careful about, blocking. But if you're a sender, and you don't want your coworker to know about a project or the fact that you're leaving this job or you're going to get a raise or a promotion and someone has told you to keep it on the down low, if you're a sender, you're going to have to really block it. It's not enough to just say, I didn't say anything. I promise I didn't say anything to anybody. If you're a sender, your thoughts are loud. Your thoughts are loud and receivers can read them. Okay, especially a receiver who's an empath who knows they can do this. Okay, so if you're a sender, you really have to be even more careful with your thoughts than a receiver does. But both of you can be read by somebody else. So this is really and truly telepathy in action. And honestly, the spirit guides told me about 2 years ago that had we not developed or invented cell phones, we would be a lot closer to telepathy today. And I don't even know where my phone is. They don't want us. Who are they? Well, the people that make a lot of money off of these phones. They sell us things on these phones. They sell us the phone itself. They sell us the service, but they also sell us how many people shop on their phones, right? And you can track phones. We know they've already been doing this, right? So this is really kind of a control thing, to be honest with you. If we didn't have cell phones, we would be communicating with each other much more often, and we would be sharpening that telepathy because we don't need this phone. We don't need it. We have the ability to do this, but we don't use it. It's just like all of our psychic senses. We have the ability to be psychic, all of us, but we don't use it. And honestly, it's not in, corporate, agenda for us to use it, right? Because we would truly be free, wouldn't we? free to know what our highest good is in this situation, free to know that I will get this job, that I should look for a better job, that I am worthy of being treated better in this relationship, whatever it is. So they told me, if you guys didn't have cell phones, you guys would be a lot further along with telepathy. And I'll just leave you with this, because I think this is fascinating. And I learned this when I was out, spirit walking or astral traveling. I realized that entities that meet each other in some other dimension or some other planet or whatever it may be, they immediately know if they're in alignment or if they're not in alignment. So instead of saying, nice to meet you, I don't know you, and let's get to know each other, they know immediately. It's a pulsing of energy. Their bodies, such as they are, actually pulse and communicate telepathy, and they go, yep, that's a match. Then they can be friends, or they can be, they can be together in whatever way that is. But if they pulse and they sort of move away from each other, then that's not a match, and there's no harm, no foul. It's just simply repel, and then each entity goes on its way. It's a lot simpler. Nobody can lie to you. There's no betrayal, because you know what they're thinking. They know what you're thinking. Keeps everybody real honest. And if you don't match that entity or that energy, you're not with them. So there's no friction. You're instantly repelled, like magnets that repel in the opposite direction. No harm, no foul. So it's quite nice. So yes, there is telepathy. There are senders. There are receivers. It does have a lot to do with being an empath or not being an empath. It does affect our lives and our daily family lives, but also in our communities and in our workplaces. And so now that you know about it, you can sort of pay attention to these things. You can pay attention, even look around and see amongst your friends, family, or coworkers, who's dressing alike, who has a connection. They have an energetic connection. That's one thing. That's clairsentience, psychic feeling. But then when they start communicating with each other and wearing the same clothes, taking the same courses, even if they're in different parts of the world, this can happen. It has nothing to do with actual distance, because energy can traverse the distance, no problem. But I would think it would be interesting for you to just sit back and see how this plays out in your life with you, but also with your family members, and also between your family members or between your coworkers. Try to figure out who's the sender, who's the receiver, who's the sender, who's the receiver, and then see how they interact together. It's going to be fascinating. You're going to find it fascinating, and you're going to learn a lot. And that is going to help you in your personal life, because you're going to have that awareness that then you can use to make your own life better, to make better decisions, and or really to just sort of sidestep some things that maybe you don't want to be a part of, because now you see them in a way that you didn't see them before. So I hope this was illuminating and helpful, and that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments your own experiences. Let me know what you think about this WAAAY Out Wednesday. You can always drop me ideas for WAAAY Out Wednesdays as well. I'm happy to have those as well. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Take really good care of yourself, okay? Please subscribe, like, share. If you're feeling the urge to do so, why not just go ahead and do it? I'll talk to you again soon, right here on this channel.